So, hey, and welcome back to another episode of Market Monday with me, Tanya the Realtor, and I'm so glad you decided to join me. So, what we're going to do is like we do all the time, we're going to pick this random zip code, we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to see what's happening in that neighborhood. And then we're going to decide if we can afford to live there if we want to or not. Okay, so that's how it works. But I am going to ask you too if you could please like the video, share it with someone you may know, comment down below if you have a comment, and definitely if you're not following me, please go ahead and follow, because I do this every week. So we always explore somewhere different. We never know where we're going to go until I randomly pick this location or this zip code from my little box. So in past videos I pulled off camera, and we are going to the 48223 zip code. Now the 48223 zip code, it is located in Northwest Detroit, Michigan. And some of the popular areas or neighborhoods in 48223 is North Rosedale Park, the Brightmoor area, and also the Grandmont zip code. So those are three very popular neighborhoods in the 48223 zip code. So next, let's look at where exactly 48223 is located. Okay, so now if we look at the boundary map up above there, we're going to see that the 48223 zip code is boundary areas is to the north. You have pretty much Puritan area to the south. It's generally the I-96 area. To the east, you have Evergreen, and then to the west, we've got the Telegraph area. So those are the boundary lines you see there in that blue map. And next, we're going to go over and see, now that we know where it's at, what's happening in that area. Okay, so now let's talk price point. So the 48223 zip code has a really large range when I look at these numbers. So you can get in there from $12,900 for the lowest price house currently. And the most expensive home is $449,000. And we're going to look at both of them and see what's happening with those. But yep, $12,900 your lowest, $44,900 your most expensive. As far as inventory is concerned, we got like 77 properties that are active. There wasn't anything coming soon. And for those of you who can't buy in this zip code but want to lease, there are at least 6 options available. Don't know what they look like, but I did look at the numbers on them. So 6 lease, 77 possible active. All right. So now we're looking at this least expensive property. Yep, it is $12,900, and I think we can all see, why it would have such a low price point on it. There is tremendous amount of work that probably has to happen to this home, but for the seasoned flipper, they might not be intimidated by this. But if you're new to the game, definitely this is way too much for you. But looking at the photos, and I'm going to show you a few more. This house definitely is a clean out job, but sometimes once you get all the debris away and they strip those walls down, this might be a great palette to work with. So, definitely don't just rule the ugly house out on the block. Sometimes you take the ugliest house and you fix it up, and then you've got you a gem that competes with all the rest of them. So, but this one here, we're looking at now, $12,900, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 920 square feet. So that's not too bad. But like I said, let's look at the pictures that's coming up. All right, you all. So what did you think? That lowest price property? Are you someone who would take on that challenge? Hey, you never know. But now we're looking at the highest price point, and you can see this one's probably a lot better, and we're going to take a look actually at what it looks like inside, towards the end of the video. But this one here is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It has 2,676 square feet, and it is for a asking price of $449,000. But before we get into that, I want you to start taking a look at some of the other properties that are in between that lowest price point and the highest price point. All right, y'all. So after all of that, now you can see we're going to start here really at this house for $35,000. And the reason I chose this one, this 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 850 square feet, is because first of all, look at the land. Looks like there's a ton of land to this home. And when you have your land, a lot of times, you may definitely need to pull a permit, but you can add square footage onto your home. You can build another room. You can build another 400 square feet, 300, 200 square feet. It definitely looks like you have the space to do that with the land there. So the only downfall to this house may be that it looks like it's a corner house, and everyone doesn't like a corner house. But let's look at these pictures, and I want to show you what I'm talking about the condition of the inside of this house. All right, so the outside, we got a chance to look at that, but now we're on the inside. And I've got that area circled there in the ceiling because it's kind of puzzling to me why it's there, especially once we take a look at all the rest of the photos associated with this house. And you can see where I'm standing in there on the floors. The floors look like they were recently put down. So I don't know if that ceiling situation is something that is old and there's nothing wrong with the roof, and you just have to fix that ceiling, because again, when we see the rest of these pictures, it doesn't look like that area there is matching what's happening in the rest of the house. So take a moment and look at the rest of the pictures, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. So did you see what I'm saying? Doesn't it seem like the rest of it doesn't match that little hole area there? I don't know. So again, I say this in every video. This is why go see homes in person. Go see homes in person. Go see homes in person. Next up, we have this one here, and I have this before picture. Look at the blue. This house doesn't just really strike you in any kind of way. It's $60,000. There's 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and 816 square feet. But wait till you see the next photo, and yeah, you all have to think outside the box when you buy homes. You have to understand you can make changes, you can upgrade, and those who can see the beauty come out a lot better sometimes shopping, because they're not as picky, because they know the potential a home has. So let's look at this next slide and this next one. So we had the dark blue at first, but look what just simply them changing the siding color and lightening this house up. What a huge difference that made for even the curb appeal of the home. It looks so much more inviting. So possible inexpensive fix, because if the house works for you, don't let those little things hold you back. You can always do it later. You don't have to paint that house or change siding the first year you move into it, but just look at what you can do from that before picture and then of the after picture too. A lot brighter. You got a 2-car garage there off of the streetway there, and it looks like you got a fenced in yard, lots of backyard space. So Next up, you're going to see some interior photos. And again, like I said, okay, you have to think outside the box. You have to be able to visualize it without the items that are currently in there. You have to think about, can I just paint a wall, do an accent somewhere, move something around, curtains, decor, things really make a huge difference. So again, you're going to take some the time to see the inside of the property, but you have to be able to be open-minded to some before and after ideals. So we just finished all the properties that are under $100,000, under the $200,000 price point. And now we're going up the scale to I can't even talk here. We're going up the scale to $200,000 or above. So let's take a look at these. Let's see what options you have there in this higher price point. And then we're going to stop and come back once we get to that highest price point property. So we finally made it to the end of the video. You saw that highest price point home at $449. What did you think of it? You think it's worth it? You think it's overpriced? Really, only the buyer himself can decide. Some people will pay over asking price, so it's not for me to decide is it worth it to you. But if any of those homes struck your interest, you want to go see any of those in this zip code or any other zip code in the kind of the northwest area, Oak Park, Southfield, Farmington Hills, those aren't all northwest, but areas like that, definitely give me a call. Let's see what we can do together, and I look forward to seeing you again next Monday for another episode of Market Monday with Tanya the Realtor. Don't forget to like that video for me, share it with someone, and come back next week so we can do this all over again.